One of the difficulties with personality disorders is that they're very highly stigmatized. This is probably because of their portrayal in the media. They're often portrayed as psychopathy in psychopathy alone. And we really need to be asking ourselves, is the stigma surrounding personality disorders founded? So when Emma and I were doing our research, we were shocked with just the stuff that we found, really. So one of the first things we found was a study of apparent psychopaths in an Illinois prison, and they said that their population of apparent psychopaths had higher numbers of and more violent crimes than the rest of their prison population. And I was really wondering if this was an accurate sample, because one, you're sampling from a maximum security prison, and two, that's not representative of all the psychopaths in the world. So a lot of people associate psychopaths with violence, when in actuality a lot of psychopaths don't actually commit crimes. And another thing we saw, which is downright wrong, is that there was a study done on juvenile delinquents in which they were labeled to be a psychopath or meeting criteria for psychopathic tendencies, and they found, obviously, that they received harsher sentencing. And the thing is, people under 18 cannot be diagnosed with a personality disorder, so I don't know how this was even ethical. It should not have been done, and it's only furthering stigma around personality disorders in the judiciary system. So it's kind of crazy to me that they were able to do that. And to another personality disorder, police officers in Australia have stated that people with borderline personality disorder will be rejected from hospitals on the basis of their diagnosis alone, even in a state of crisis. So one officer told a story about a woman who was literally throwing herself in traffic, and the hospitals would not take her because she had borderline personality disorder. And these people are seen as a drain on the system, both from the hospitals and from the police department, because they just take up vital resources. And it's really quite sad because these people aren't getting the help they need from anyone. Another thing that we noticed is that in a lot of states, you can't use an insanity defense for people with personality disorders, but that doesn't stop the prosecution from bringing up your personality disorder, so that furthers the stigma and vilifies you, which means you're going to get a harsher sentence. If you are one of the very few people who can get an insanity plea, you're going to get more time, especially if you have a personality disorder, because, again, personality disorders don't respond to treatment, and they can say pretty much any one of your behaviors is a result of a personality disorder. And so what we need to keep in mind is that stigma tries to create distance between a neurotypical person and those with personality disorders. And so even if you disagree with our opinions throughout this presentation, you need to understand that stigma is damaging to all people.